Hello everyone, it's been a long time since I've done a time-lapse with an art video. This is my first time having trouble speaking now, but whatever, it is what it is. As you can see, that this is just a rough draft of whatever thing I'm planning on doing with this PNG. Might be using it for like a reaction video coming soon, but it's coming for that video. It's gonna be sooner rather than later, so I kind of like need to like do this quickly within the next 2 days, aka I want to have it set up by the Pokemon Presents. That's gonna be very fun. But anyway, until then, I've been practicing art for a while. For a very long time, I've been like okay at drawing like a circular head and drawing a rectangle, and I've always wanted to be a lot better than than that skill level. Unfortunately, I just didn't really know how, or maybe I just didn't want to take the time to learn what it took. I don't know. But eventually, during the summer of last year, I started to really study what it means to draw at least in anime proportions or anime style. If someone like asks me to draw a photorealistic is a stretch, but like a realistic humanoid anatomy head, I probably won't be able to. But an anime head, I've seen a lot of anime, and I could probably draw that if I wanted to. I also had an inkling of maybe like being paid to do art, but like that's like a very big stretch. But also, what I really wanted was the ability to create a VTube, or at least a PNG avatar, without having to like spend thousands of dollars. And the one way to do that is to do it yourself, or maybe to have like a friend give you a discount or do it for free or whatever. But I'm doing it with my own skill, and the outcome video, with the outcome image that you see is like I essentially did my rough draft after months of learning how to draw a body. As you can see, I don't even know how to draw hands or legs for that matter, but for the sake of the reaction, I'm not gonna really showing those. Ideally, I'm able to set like presets of what like my PNG is going to be talking about, like having a talking PNG port, like a closed mouth, a smiling mouth, and a talking thing. But whatever. What inspired the design? The head is basically just what I believe to be a good looking head. The eyes also, I've had my own stylization of eyes, and they always felt a little off. And then after watching a few animations and other drawings, I realized that my eyes are probably like the outline of my eyelids, I think, or like the circle part of the eye, I think are too wide or are too big, and so it kind of like covers up most of the face, I guess, which leaves very little space for the cheeks and other eye parts and the faces and nose. So I took a less lined approach with that, and I think it led me with a good looking eye. And then of course I'm always the scale I use to draw the entire drawing is much bigger than what I'm used to. On average, I drew my head, or I drew like the circle. I drew like the box part of the head to be about 5. This one is about 7. I think 7.5 to be exact. 7.5 lines. I really wanted to do a proportion or get better proportions as well. Part of what this drawing is showing off what I have done. I have a book of all of my like rough drafts and drawings I've done since I stopped posting my head videos. Even after stopping posting my heads, because when I stopped posting heads, that's when I decided, oh okay, this I am as good as I'm going to be. I'm getting with heads, and then going to paper, the digital stuff didn't really translate well with traditional, and so I had to essentially relearn. And then also I took a small break, which was too big, even though it actually took a big break. And I kind of just like lost all the muscle memory and what worked well the first time, so I had to relearn everything then. And then it was like before classes I would draw if I would at all, and then I spent a lot of time in class also drawing when I was doing some lectures that are just boring and bad. What else? So that was like drawing the head, and then eventually I relearned and got okayed with drawing head, and so it was up for the body. And the body itself is probably my hardest things to draw, simply because I don't really have a good method for that. What I mean by that is I was trying to draw heads without really learning I was trying to draw bodies without really learning the anatomy of the body. Because obviously your best reference to drawing human anatomy is yourself. But I never studied myself, and it felt weird too, whatever. But my bodies didn't come out the way I wanted to. And whenever I looked at the other arts, their bodies always looked fine. And so I was hard stuck drawing drawing bodies. And then whenever I got frustrated with drawing bodies, I decided I was just going to draw heads. But eventually, after enough practice and enough guides, I learned what I needed to do, and techniques and practices and helpful advice. The one thing I would say after learning everything I've learned is don't just copy and paste whatever you see on one tutorial does. Because if one tutorial does or says, okay, draw this box and then draw 2 lines from it and then do a circle and then you have a body, right? Theoretically, that's what they say. I'm going to see what they do, and I'm going to see what I do, and I'm going to take what they do and apply it to what I do, not just forget everything that I already do. And then that really worked well with me, because I'm taking good advice from multiple sources and applying it to my drawing. And I think I have done significant improvement with my bodies since then. From being able to draw not a body to drawing a almost body, or a pretty okay body. Drawing clothes is another thing that I always struggled with, simply because I never had any practice with. The closest thing to drawing clothes is just, okay, I'm gonna mark where the head starts, and then mark where the top of the shirt starts and then ends there. This I wanted to give more clothes, essentially do better. And so I used references from character designs and see how do they draw, or how do the lines look, so that I can translate them. Because that's what my best learning strategy was. Just look at the line, look how the line feels, look where it goes, look where it ends, and then just copy that, and then it really does wonders for learning how to draw. because the moment you stop looking at art as a complete picture, and then you start looking at it as smaller shapes and even lines, then you can really start to learn what other people do to make their art look good. The character you see on the screen now is supposed to be a like professor thing or something. I don't know entirely. I did put a lab coat on her, but that's like subject to change. Exactly, a lot of different professions can use lab coats. But I've been turning around a lot in my room, and I don't know which direction I'm facing. Okay, I'm facing that direction. What else? I can't really think of anything else. I guess like tell me what y'all think if you made it this far to my rambling, but thank y'all for watching. Bye bye.